Parshas Vayishlach, Tavshin Ayin Dalet. It's been a while since we've had such a big crowd here. We just missed the train going by also, so we have all the good things this week. The Parshas that we've gone through in Sefer Bereshis the past couple of weeks, all these Parshas are replete with lessons for us, lessons that teach us how to live our lives al-pi derech Hashem. And that's the thing, we learn so many different lessons, so many things from the Avos. And this week's Parsha, in Parshas Vayishlach, the Torah tells us every detail of the dialogue between Yaakov and Esav. And Yaakov and Esav, we know this epic battle that they were headed toward, and there are many different ways to learn what this battle between Yaakov and Esav really was and what it wasn't. But the Torah spends a lot of time, the Torah gives us every detail of this dialogue between Yaakov and Esav. So Nesivos Shalom says that what the Torah is alluding to by being very specific and telling us everything here, the Torah is alluding to the battle that every person has throughout his entire life with the Yetzer Hara. And we learn from this week's Parsha how to come to that battle, how to come to the table, how to fight the Yetzer Hara, how to approach that battle. And that's what we learn from what the Torah spends so many details in letting us know about this battle between Yaakov and Esav. So here's a question that I'm sure most of you out there have wondered about this question. Why does it seem like the entire life of Yaakov Avinu is filled with battles? We know even before Yaakov Avinu was born, the Torah tells us, the beginning of Parshas Toldos, Vayisroitzatu abonim b'kirba, that Yaakov and Esav were already fighting. There was a battle even before Yaakov Avinu was born. And then we know after that, Yaakov fought with Esav about, they had a problem with the Bechorah. And after that, they had a battle about the brachas. When Yitzchak Avinu was going to give the brachas, Yaakov had a battle with Esav about that. And then, you know what, those 20 years of working by his father-in-law Lavan were like 20 years full of battles that he had with Lavan. And then comes now this battle with Esav. In addition to that, a little bit later in this week's Parsha, the battle that Yaakov Avinu has with the Sar Shel Esav, with the Malach. So it seems that the entire life of Yaakov Avinu, at least to this point, are full of battles, full of struggles. So the other Avos, we know Avraham Avinu, Yitzchak Avinu, we know that they had nisyonos. But their whole lives were not full of battles. They didn't spend their entire lives fighting about this, battling about that. It seems to be just specific to Yaakov Avinu. So Nesivos Shalom tells us that the Torah is teaching us that just as in all the battles of Yaakov Avinu, the life of every Yid, this is a life's lesson. It's a reflection on what the life of every Yid is. The life of every Yid is a constant battle and a struggle. And people have to know that. And with each passing battle, with each passing struggle that we go through, and each passing one that you actually win, you grow from that. And that's the lesson right here that we see at the beginning of the Parsha and throughout the life of Yaakov Avinu. Every time you have a battle and you win, you gain. When Yaakov Avinu finished his struggle with the Malach, Yaakov Avinu was told right then, Lo Yaakov yeomer oid shemecha. That as soon as he finished that battle, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, you're not called Yaakov anymore. From here on in, you're going to be called Yisrael, Kisorisa, because you overcame and you won. And what happens when you win? When you win a battle, we know it's that way with the Yetzer Hara also, it's that way with anything. When you win a battle, you gain and you grow from that. And that's a lesson for life for each and every one of us, that is exactly how we grow. There are some people who think, of course, that they were born royalty, and they're born with everything everything over other people, and that they're born complete people. But the average person, most people, and everyone that we know, that's the way you grow. You have a battle in your life, you have a struggle. It's a struggle with the Yetzer Hara, whatever it is, but that is how you grow. And we see that directly from Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu's life is full of battles, and each one that he wins, Yaakov Avinu grows, and he grows another level and another level. And the Parshas of Lavan teach us what we had last week, learning from what happened with Yaakov and Lavan, the Parsha of Lavan, and the Parsha of Esav in this week's Parsha. It teaches us how to wage this battle. And what are the differences, some of the differences and things we could see from Lavan and Esav. So Nesivos Shalom says that the Klippa and lessons of Lavan are on one side, and they basically follow one pattern. And the nisyonos of Lavan, the nisyonos that we would call the battles of Lavan, those are the pagam in one's mind, in your deis and in ashkafas. Lavan, we know, Lavan was the all-time big kaifer. Kfira was, and deficiencies in emunah, that's what Lavan represented. Like we see that Lavan had the trufim, he had Lavan that was, his house was full of avodah zarah. Not only that, besides having the trufim, we know Lavan was full of kfira and denial of hashgacha pratis. And this is something which we hope, sometimes you wonder if sometimes people have a little bit of Lavan in them. What happened with Lavan in last week's parsha? Yaakov Avinu worked for Lavan, made him tons of money, made him big. Yaakov Avinu had tremendous siyata d'shmaya. And what does Lavan say? And hopefully none of us have any shaykhs to what Lavan said over there. But Lavan says, "Habonois b'noisai." The daughters here are my daughters. Ubonim bonai. The children here are my children. V'chol asher atorayeh. Everything that you see, lihu. And Lavan knew, he had to have known that it was Yaakov's siyata d'shmaya that got him everything. But Lavan was a kaifer, and he didn't believe in hashgacha pratis. And Lavan, when he saw all of that, he said, "What are you talking about? What do you mean? It was me. I'm the one. It was I'm brilliant. I did the business. I'm just so charming. That's why I'm a multimillionaire." You forget HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You forget hashgacha pratis. And that's the Lavan. That's the nisayon of Lavan. Lavan is what represents koichi v'oitzim yadi. So when we say Lavan bikesh lakar es hakol, we say on Pesach we talk about it. Lavan bikesh lakar es hakol. Hakol says in Nesivos Shalom, hakol could be referring to emunah, because emunah is hakol. Emunah is everything to a yid. A yid needs to live with emunah. Everything you do in your life needs to revolve around emunah. And it's the Lavan of the world who wants to be oiker your emunah. When you lose your emunah, says the Nesivos Shalom, that's when you lose everything. It's an ikr. It's everything to a yid. A yid has to always live with emunah. As long as a yid has emunah, says the Nesivos Shalom, even if he was over many things in his life, and he went through battles, and he lost battles, but if a yid still has emunah, then you have a way back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Yaakov said at the beginning of Parshas Vayishlach, at the beginning of this week's Parsha, Im Lavan Garti. Yaakov says, I lived with Lavan, but I still have my emunah. But Tayag Mitzvah Shamarti, I'm still the same Yaakov Avinu with my emunah. Yaakov Avinu is telling Esav that all the influences of Lavan's kfira, and Lavan's avodah zarah, and Lavan's denial of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and hashgacha pratis, all the influence did not have any effect on him. He's telling Esav, my emunah is intact. Nesivos Shalom says over from the Badicheva, Zechusah Yagan Aleinu, he says that when Lavan says in last week's parsha, like the psukim that we just brought down, Habonois b'noisai, habonim bonai, and basically no one is anything, I'm everything. When Lavan says that, Lavan's telling us right there in that pasuk the different ways that the Yetzer Hara comes to a person and tries to harm him through his whole life. Habonois b'noisai, when Lavan says that, what he's telling you is that the Yetzer Hara comes to a person and says, Habonois b'noisai. Not necessarily it's all mine. He says, but what's yours, I'm involved also. The Yetzer Hara comes to a person and he wants to be a shutuf in everything that you do. The Yetzer Hara says, you know what, you could learn, You could daven, but you know what? I'm going to learn with you. You're going to daven, I'm going to daven with you. And the Baditcheva says that he'll even do your Chasidus with you. Whatever you want to have Islavis, for Yiddishkeit, everything, but the Yetzer Hara wants to be mixed in there. He mixes in, he says, you know what? Daven, learn, but I'll tell you what, learn with your cell phone. I'll get you a little disturbed in the middle. I'll do something. I'll make you, you'll go into shul, you'll daven, I'll have you speak a piece of Lashon Hara in shul. You wanna have, we'll create machloikis. Oh yeah, we're going to get together. We'll have a chesed organization. We'll get together. We'll do a lot of stuff. But we're going to create machloikis amongst the ranks. And that is one of the ways that the Yetzer Hara comes to you. And when we say Lavan bikesh lakares hakol, that's something else. Lavan also, he wants to make the foundation of all your Torah and Avodah come from bad kavanas. That's another side of it. We said the first side before. Another thing that Lavan wants to do is make sure that it all comes from bad kavanas. From the roots up, lakares hakol. So Yaakov Avinu comes to Esav now. And he says, Im Lavan garti. But you know what? Lavan did not affect me either way. He did not affect me. Lavan did not become a shutaf in any of the good that I did. And also Lavan was not able to make it rotten from the core. Lavan wasn't able to make my kavanas from the beginning bad. But the Yetzer Hara says of Esav, says the Nesivos Shalom, is a different Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara of Esav is the Yetzer Hara of Taivas. And that too, says in the Nesivos Shalom, is split into two. Just like Lavan was, so is Esav. Yaakov Avinu asked, Hatzileni no miyad achi miyad Esav. Save me from my brother from Esav. We know there's a lot of Torah on that. Many Mefarshim speak. Why? Yaakov Avinu only had one brother. If it's Achi, we know it's Esav. It's Esav, we know it's Achi. What's miyad Achi, miyad Esav? Zok Nesivos Shalom, that he comes like an Esav. The Yetzer Hara could come to you like an Esav, or he could come to you like an Achi. And what's an Achi is that he makes you do taivas, but different type of taivas. Taivas of heter. Yaakov Avinu asked to be saved from both of these taivas, from everything that Esav represents. Sai taivas of Isser and Sai taivas of heter. Yaakov Avinu is the one we know throughout the Torah. Yaakov Avinu is a lesson to all of us. Yaakov Avinu teaches us that a person doesn't have to live like a hermit. And we've spoken about this in the past. Yaakov Avinu, you look at the Torah, Yaakov Avinu, he went, he worked, Yaakov Avinu got married, Yaakov Avinu had children. The Torah very specifically tells us that Yaakov lived his life. But Yaakov taught us that every part of your life you can make a Kiddush Hashem. You can take your Gashmias and use it and make it into Ruchnias. So Yaakov Avinu asked, Hatzileni no miyad achi miyad Esav. Save me from the Achi too. Save me from when he comes to me like a brother. He wants to make me be over and indulge in taivas, even those that are mutter. And that's something that we always have to look out for. That sometimes we want to do good things, and we're doing very good things, but we have to think to ourselves, is it pure? Do we have the Yetzer Hara mixed into here also? Is the Yetzer Hara mixed into the good things that we want to do? Is he making it bad from the root? And also is the Yetzer Hara a little bit becoming a shutaf in the things that we do? And these are the lessons that we learn. The Torah tells us from Yaakov Avinu. We learn the lessons of how to live our life, how to go about our life, and to understand that life is one series of battles. One battle after the other, from the time we're young to the time we're middle-aged and the time we get older. It's constant battle, and with every battle that we win, Yaakov Avinu shows us, that's how you grow. And let's hope that we'll all learn these lessons and be zocheh to grow from all of our nisyonos.